Welcome back everybody to another video. Today we're here with this Honda Odyssey and we're gonna do shocks all the way around, struts in the front, shocks in the back. We'll take you through step by step so you don't have to pay a mechanic. So let's get into it. Next, we got to jack it up, take all four wheels off. The part number for the front passenger side is this Monroe 172536. The part number for the driver front is 172537. The rear shock part number is 37316. Use a 17 millimeter to break this loose if it's rusted or it's hard to come off. Put penetrating fluid on it, and then you're going to use a 6 millimeter hex inside with a 7 millimeter box wrench. You're going to put the 6 millimeter hex on righty-tighty and then drive it out through the back of the nut. Use a 12 millimeter socket or wrench to remove this bolt that holds the brake line to the strut. You have 3 little circles here under the hood. You're going to take a little baby flathead, you're going to pop them out like so. And then the nuts for the strut mount are inside. Use a 14 millimeter deep socket with an extension to remove all 3 of these nuts. The windshield wiper arm is in the way of this third one. So turn your key, hit the wipers, and then turn your key off once the wipers get up here. Now you have access to the nut through this hole without having anything in your way. Once the nuts are off on the top, this will become loose. Take these two 22 mils out and then disconnect the strut and pull it out. To get the new nuts installed on the new struts, I used deep socket, a little bit of tape, and then I taped the edge of the bolt so that I can go vertical and it doesn't come out. But once it's on the threads, I just wiggle this like this, and the tape isn't strong enough, so it just pulls off and it leaves you the nut on the stud. My suggestion to you would be to have 2 people. First person slides this up in the hole, second person puts the top nuts on to hold this in the vehicle, and then you start with putting these 22 mils back in loosely, and then you can go around, just reverse the steps you did to take everything apart, put it all back together, torque it nice and tight, and you're pretty much done. You're going to do the same steps on the other side of the car, and Merry Christmas, you saved a bunch of money. After putting the tires on, you're going to lower it down, have all the weight on the strut, and then you're going to tighten the nuts on the top with, you know, all the weight of the vehicle, pushing the strut tower and the strut together and just give it a nice torque. Then you could put those little black covers back on those little holes. Spray the bolts and stuff with penetrating oil. You have 2 up here, and then you have this one right there. Take a 14 millimeter socket. You're going to remove this bolt and this nut. Use a 17 millimeter socket. Remove this nut and this washer. Use a pry bar. You're going to pry the shock off of the stud like so. You have a stud here, so now you're going to use a pry bar and pry it away from the vehicle here, and then you'll just pull it through the top. You're going to pull out and through this way. You're going to grab the new one, you're going to slide it in this way, hang it on to the stud, and then put the nut on 1 or 2 threads and put the bolt in 1 or 2 threads, and then we'll get the bottom reattached. Use a jack up the control arm until the holes line up. And once the holes line up, take a rubber mallet, whack it here till it seats here, then put the washer and the nut back on. Tighten it down. Torque down these 2 nuts, guten tight, that's German for tight. And and that's it. Like, you want torque values, go on Google. Thanks for coming and checking out another Fat Guy Builds. Hopefully it saved you some money. Hopefully you did it. If you didn't do it, then you paid a mechanic and then you suck at life. So it's up to you. Anyways, like, share, subscribe. Till next time, wrench your home.